Hello my YouTubities, welcome back to my channel, and it is actually the morning time, so I have my coffee, got my little Mrs. mug. It's the best mug. So for me, it is bright and early in the morning. I wanted to sit down and do a comparison video. We all know how much I love my comparison videos. I really like figuring out like which product is better if there's a similar one in my collection. So I have my top bun going. Harry Potter is joining us today. Figured I'd bring him along. Who else is a Harry Potter fan? Because I am actually on the very last book and it's been a journey. I think it's taken me 6 months at least, maybe a year, to get through all of them. And what I'm doing is I'm reading the book and then watching the movie. So it kind of ties everything together. Anyway, that's kind of off track. Anyway, just know Harry Potter's here with us. So today I wanted to compare the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer to the Tatcha Silk Canvas Primer. I did see that Taylor do a video on this, and it turns out that she actually found that they did something similar to her skin. However, I do have oily skin and she has dry skin. So I wanted to see if it still worked the same. And I wanted to see if the e.l.f. product was a dupe for the Tatcha Silk Canvas Primer. So as you guys know, the Tatcha Silk Canvas Primer is so expensive. It's $52. You get 0.7 ounces of product. Now this e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer, you actually get more product. You get 0.74, and this is only $8. I got mine at Ulta. It says that they're out of stock right now, and that's very fair. Like, I had a really hard time finding this in stock, so when it did come in stock, I jumped on it. It's supposed to create smooth skin and prep it with squalene? How do you say that word? To moisturize and grip makeup for all day wear. The velvety texture glides on over the skin, smoothing over imperfections for a poreless effect. I don't know about you, but that sounds very similar to the Tatcha Silk Canvas Primer. And if this one is just as good, I'm gonna pick this one. I'm gonna do one side of my face using the Tatcha primer and then the other one using the e.l.f. primer. But before we jump into the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up if you are enjoying while you're watching, and be sure to subscribe before you leave because I do upload every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. I'm going to prime my skin like I do always using the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer Water. All right, I'm going to first take the Tatcha Silk Canvas Primer. This is what this one looks like. Let me just open up the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer just to compare, see if they resemble, like if they look the same. How do I get this out? Now these do have very similar packaging. The product looks exactly the same. So as you can see up close, this has a little bit of a pink tint to it, and it is in this container you have to dip your finger in. This is the same exact color. This doesn't really have a scent. This is very perfumed. But to me, these look pretty dang similar. All right, let's go in on this side. I'm gonna take my finger like normal and put this on my pores. I really love this Tatcha primer, and there's a reason why there's a cult following around it, because it is a very good product, but you definitely have to fork up the money for it because it's so expensive for a primer. So the Tatcha one is a little sticky and it's just a little dry, where you do have to work it into your skin. But overall, like, I would say that this glides on my skin pretty easily. So that's what my skin looks like. It's completely matte. And let's go in on the other side with the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. I do plan to come back at the very end of the day and show you how the foundation held up on both sides of my skin, if one lasted longer, because I do know the Tatcha product makes my makeup last a really long time, and if like this side faded at all, I'm gonna show you at the very end of the day what my skin is looking like. So again, here is the e.l.f. product. I'm gonna dip my finger in just like I did with the Tatcha one. Definitely thinner than the Tatcha primer. Like, it looks exactly the same, but it feels very different. And it looks a little bit more greasy than the Tatcha one, just in the pan when I'm moving my finger around in it. It does feel very similar both sides. This one's maybe a little stickier. I'm done applying the primers. Looking at my skin and like feeling it, I'd say that the Tatcha one feels not as sticky as the e.l.f. primer, but it has also sat on my face longer, so maybe I need to give this a second to sink in. As far as my pores go, they look like equally filled in on both sides. It is starting to set in a little bit more, but I would say that overall the e.l.f. side is stickier than the Tatcha side. I'm curious what this looks like when I apply foundation on top of it, and I'm going to go in with my Holy Grail foundation. This is the CYO Long Lasting Life Proof Foundation. This does not do anything to my skin other than make it look flawless. It doesn't make it more matte. It doesn't extend the wear time. It's just like a very neutral, everyone could wear this foundation. So it's not going to pull more matte. It's not going to pull more dewy. It's just like kind of right in the middle. So I think it's a good foundation to test this with. Here's what my skin is looking like on the Tatcha side. But I'm curious if the e.l.f. side looks exactly the same. Because if so, that's going to be pretty much mind-blowing. I would say that the Tatcha side looks a little bit more matte right now. This side definitely has more of a glow to it. It's sitting on my skin about the same other than the finish. I think I'm going to add the rest of my face products. I will be back and we can really see up close how my skin looks side by side and see if we can actually see any differences. All right, you guys, I am back. I have finished the rest of my makeup. I cannot tell a difference at all. Looking at my skin, they look the same. There's not a finish difference. They look equally filled in. My pores, I mean. I just think that my skin looks flawless and it looks like I applied the Tatcha one all over when really half of my face has an $8 primer on it. So I'm pretty happy with how things are looking right now. I'm curious to see if it holds up throughout the day. Like I said, I will come back and update you guys and show you how my skin is looking, but right now they are the same product. If you have tried the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer and you have thoughts on it, let me know. This could be a $8 dupe for a $52 primer. That's pretty cool. All right, guys, I'll see you at the end of the day. I almost forgot to film this outro because it's late and I got in my cozy clothes and I was like, wow, I just get to relax. And then I'm like, oh, I did not record an outro. So it is currently 8:10 and I've had this foundation and primer on all day long. My forehead is so greasy. Go away, grease. Just tap away the grease, guys. It's okay. Aside from the fact that I am oily because it's been a long day, I've had this foundation on all day long, I want to look at my skin. I cannot tell a difference. They both look exactly the same. If anything, this side looks a little less glowy and my pores look a tad bit smaller. So that's saying something. I would say that if you have wanted to try the Tatcha primer, try the e.l.f. one first. Hopefully the e.l.f. one doesn't break me out. That's the only thing I can think of that would like make me not want to use it, but it's an $8 option as compared to $52. So obviously we all want to save money. We all, don't want to throw away our money here. So I would go for the cheaper option. I do definitely think that this e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer is a dupe for the Tatcha primer. If you have two other products that you want me to compare that are pretty dang similar, let me know down in the comments. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you have a great day and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!